Well, good afternoon, and welcome back to the Jawalog. Wanted to try something a little different today. I happened to reach out to somebody on Facebook who was looking for comments on their film, and while that film I may not be able to release right away, this video of, maybe this one I can. We'll talk with the director afterwards, or I will talk with the director afterwards and see if that works for him. It's a film called Distanced, a short film by, I believe it's Sannidh Raychaudhuri. I don't know how to say all Indian names despite me being Indian myself, or half Indian. To think I would know how to say all Indian names would be racist, and we know you're not that. So, let's check it out. I don't know anything about this film. This person just reached out to me completely cold. So we're going to try their film and see I guess what I think. I'm not a big on review or critique. I think all films have merit and take a lot of hard work and dedication to be put together. So let's see how this works. It's an interesting experiment on this podcast, which is only its third episode. So let's check out the film Distanced. Don't forget you can support me through the various links I have on the YouTube description below. But that's all. Anything you do give, I appreciate greatly, and it helps support this channel, my acting work, my gamer work, my butterbeard work. Whatever work I have, you are helping it out by helping me. So I appreciate it, and thank you very much. Let's get into the short film.
The number you have dialed is currently busy. Please try again later. The number you have dialed is currently busy. Please try again later.
Well, that, well, it was certainly a very emotional film for certain, and definitely something I related to as someone who's made films about mental health and kind of the struggles of the inner voice and the feelings therein. This kind of looked a little more to external factors, the quarantine specifically, as aspects of causes for mental health, which I think is good, but at the same time, I think it's a missed opportunity, because the film knows, and the director knows, that mental health is beyond the quarantine, but to tie everything to the theme of the quarantine by using the I suppose anagram of the quarantine, it kind of takes away the point a little bit. But maybe that is the point, to show these are the mental health circumstances within the quarantine, but let's think about the circumstances that are outside of the quarantine as well. Almost like bringing a current event to a situation that is not just the current event, but far-reaching beyond that as well. I mean, I enjoyed the film. It was a great set of, I would say, vignettes of emotion and feeling and ways to express those emotions and feelings, or the way they come to us. Small slices of life that we experience. Yeah, I thought that was an impressive film. I don't know how many films this director has made. I really don't know anything about the filmmaker in this case, but I was impressed by the showing. Some really interesting cinematography in this film. In fact, let me maybe even bring it back. This shot with the bench, doesn't exactly have the most purpose, but it is a nice shot. It is a compelling shot in its own way. I don't know if the movement was necessary or motivated, but it was a cool shot all the same. This shot, it was cool as well, but it went on a little long. I stopped believing the inability to flick the lighter. But I made a similar error when I was acting in that short film, the Christmas film, the whole trying to open the pill bottle. That was way too long. That could have been expressed much quicker, and it would have been better. Especially being a comedy, it doesn't really need to linger like that. This one, I understand the lingering, but if the action is poorly executed, there's no need to hang on it. I released a sketch where I realize my dramatic acting is not the tippy top or the best. So, I try to transition in on that first line from the facade of the house. This is the Fairy Godfather I'm talking about here. In the Fairy Godfather sketch, I realized my acting of like, what am I going to do? I'm never, nobody likes, I forget what it was, but I decided, let me use the transition of the house coming in the window, like the Seinfeld type cut, transitioning the outside of the house, exterior, to the inside of me talking, and use that over me talking so I can cover it up a little bit. Sometimes when you have performances that are not the best, they should be used sparingly or used in the best light possible, or the shortest time possible if you really need that shot, if you can't just get rid of it. But there's some really great shots here. There's some really interesting cinematography. Like, I definitely get the cliche student film, suicide, sadness themes here, and I fell into the same trap when I was a student. But It doesn't negate the feelings of pain and sorrow. And if that's where you're at in life, I think that's a valid place to make a film from. I mean, what's the alternative? You have two schools of thought. I came from a school of thought where you should make a film that's closer to you and more close to your actual life and experience. If you don't have gangs and drugs and guns in your life, why are you making a film about those things? Now, maybe you want to make films about those things eventually, but when your first film, I think, to learn the mechanics and how to do a film, you want to stick with something that's close to your person and your life experience. And I think directors have done very interesting things from that perspective. I believe I want to say Christopher Nolan's first film with the bug, Doodlebug or something. I'm not sure if I'm getting that wrong, but yeah, it's I'm very positive about this film. I enjoy it. I like what it was trying to say. Frankly, I like any film that brings more discussion to the issues of mental health. That life isn't just, that people who are perhaps not okay or positive about life experience or the way life is going, may not just be crazy people or just unable to tackle the realities of life. I think there's validity in questioning some of the norms of our society. One of the situations, I watched a lot of stock videos, stock investing videos. And one thing I noticed from a guy I typically like watching is this discussion where there's an understanding where people on unemployment are perhaps getting more money now, week to week, than they've ever gotten in their normal jobs. Now, granted, we all want to be getting back to work, but shouldn't there be more time taken to look at this situation where we're paying people less than what the government thinks they need to subsist? Like, if the government is saying, we think you need this much week to week to go off of, and then you have to go back to a job that gives you less than that, shouldn't that be kind of a wake-up call or like an alarm bell ringing in your ear, But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that comes to pass as a result of these quarantine actions. But I have a feeling people are just ready to get back to it and forget about thinking about anything else. They don't want to think too hard. They never really have, unfortunately. But I guess that's all I have for this rant and this short film. I appreciate Sannidh, I believe, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, for sharing your short film with me. And I, hope you continue making short films, and I look forward to watching more of your work. I guess that is it for today's Jawalog. Don't forget you can support me through the various channels linked in YouTube below, including getting interest rate on your USDC cryptocurrency with the LinenApp. It is a digital crypto wallet, which I know very little about. 𝐿𝐿. There's other options down there. All of them help support this channel and my work, no matter what it is. And I appreciate it. You can also join the Patreon. I've started working on making that a little more relevant as well. $5 for the shout out on my Game War live stream channel. $15 you get listed as an executive producer on everything I do, and that includes this Jawalog as well. I might include the shout out on the other tier as well. I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that. But either way, I appreciate you not being here, and we'll see you next time.